Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're at. This is Jen, and oh, now I gotta try to get this craziness off my face. Oh, okay, how do I do that? Oh, I might have to, oh, here we go. Nope, no mask. Hi, Mo, how are you? I put this mask on my face and I can't get it off. Oh, good God. Okay. Oh my gosh. Does anybody know how to get this craziness off? Oh, good gracious. I might have to sign off and get back on, or I just keep the face. I might just have to keep the face. Hi, Mo. It's so good to see you. Thank you for popping in. I know you're super busy today. Are you driving somewhere today? I think you might be. But it's lovely to have you here. I am gonna try to get this off. Maybe if I just do, oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, thank God. Okay. Anyway, it's lovely to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining. I am really excited just to demonstrate a few super easy watercolor abstract techniques. And oh, I'm so glad you popped in, Mo. And if you just basic watercolor supplies, a few brushes, like I mentioned, and some water, and if you have some salt, I might actually play a little bit with acetone today too. Just to let you see how it interacts with the pigments, and you might want to try a bad connection. But yeah, so what we're going to be, hopefully my connection improves, because right now it's not great. But we're going to be doing some abstract poppies. I'm going to show you for some like layery, kind of more watery style poppies, as well as just some real abstract kind of one-shot poppies. You got one shot to get them right, and then the ones that I posted yesterday, which are just more kind of colorful, abstract, with a lot of contrast poppies. So yeah, I'm going to show you a couple of things that I have. Hi, Rhiannon. It's lovely to have you here. I'm going to wave. I love that you can do that. I'm going to show you a really gorgeous set that I came across on Amazon last week from Paul Rubens. And the box is right here. Hi, Barbara. And just the box alone is so beautiful. And when I got it, I was so excited. But when I opened it, I was absolutely delighted with the colors. Hi, Nancy. Thanks so much for coming. The colors are gorgeous. So I'm going to show you that set, and I'm going to show you a couple other things that I got last week by Paul Rubens that I don't love. I loved the block that I shared with you last Wednesday because it's really easy to use. It's easy to separate the pages, and it's just a really handy size. But these blocks that I got in the mail from Paul Rubens last week, where that was not the case. They're tearing, they're just kind of a pain to use. So I'm going to show you that just as a note, make a note to self of something to avoid. But I'll share with you those, and then I'll share with you just a couple of techniques that I've found fun and kind of engaging and helpful in creating these abstract poppies, and then I'll answer any questions that you might have. And I'm just thinking of y'all. I'm just painting with some friends because that's what I need to think of, or I'm gonna be too nervous and I'll say really stupid things. So that's what I do, or I'll blink a lot. I blink a lot when I'm really nervous too. So should have seen me on my wedding day. I was like this. It was crazy. But hi, Kristen. Oh, Kristen, thanks for coming by. I'm going to do that. It's so lovely to see you all here. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to show you this gorgeous new metallic set by Paul Rubens, and we'll get started. Okay, hopefully this isn't sideways today. Hi, Cherie. Thanks for coming. Okay, let's flip this around and do this. Okay. Oops. Oh no, I don't want to rotate it. I want to keep you here. Okay, let's see. Bear with me for a minute while I get this going here. Okay, there we go. All right, this is what we're going to be using. This is what I'm using today, which is, hi Tamara, thank you for coming, my love, which is the Sakura basic set. The Pocket Field Sketch, I think there's like 24 colors here, so that's what we're going to be using today. But for now, first, I did want to share with you, oops, sorry, that was probably really loud, this really gorgeous set here, okay? Paul Rubens. I can put the link in my in this little feed later, but it comes with this little sample swatch set, and I just filled in all of the swatches. But look at these gorgeous metallic colors. They have, what I love about them is there's a lot of pigment. So the other metallics that I got from Sakura are really gorgeous, but they don't have quite as much pigment, and these you can achieve more contrast with these. This is the set that I did this kind of abstract sketch of, or painting of, this person that I posted in Instagram the other day. You can't really see the metallics so great with the lighting, but I like that you get some shimmer, but you also have some depth. So, okay, hi Faye. Oh, okay. So this is, I mean, just look at this. This is just gorgeous metal and ceramic. Beautiful little pink little goodie there that it comes in. Loved that. And then look at these incredible colors. Just so yummy and vibrant and shiny and shimmery and really creamy to work with. And so anyway, I was loving playing with that this week. Okay. So that's something separate. All right, so, hey Mom, how are you, my love? It's so good to see you. Are you gonna paint with me today, Mama? I hope so. My mom, Jeannie, is an incredible artist. I thank her for any talent that I may have, as well as a desire for creativity and just exploring and not being afraid. She painted a Frida painting. My mom painted a Frida painting and displayed it in her first art show. She's 81 years old. She's beautiful. She's beautiful inside and out. And she sold her first painting at 81, okay? I am so proud of you, Mama. You're a beautiful artist. Okay, so for this technique, this is obviously super abstract. So we're going to do a little bit of playing with, hi Marge. We're going to do a little bit of playing with, oh, Ralph from Japan. Oh, good God. Hi, Ralph. Thank you so much for coming in. I lived and taught in Japan for a while, and one of my friends from Japan just popped in to say hello. Good to see you, Ralph. My mom rocks. She really does rock. She is so fun. She's so young at heart, Kristen. You would absolutely love her. Okay, so for this really abstract technique, what we're going to do is we're going to play with a few, sorry, I'm all over the place right now. One other thing I wanted to show you is this book that I got because I saw it and it kind of matched that beautiful watercolor set that I got. And it too is by Paul Rubens, okay? But, and you open it and it's really lovely. And call me Grandma Moses. Mom, you're so silly. It's really beautiful. The paper is nice, but when you go to separate the paper, you know, you put your little palette knife in there and separate the paper. They were starting to tear and it was just a pain in the butt. And this is not as easy to maneuver around if you want to shift your page around so that you have a better angle to create your brush strokes and things. So I don't recommend this particular style because the other thing is with the other Paul Rubens book that I have, you can flip the cover under and use it and it will still stay nice and level on your table while you're working so you don't get drippage and spillage where you don't want it. This one, you get a little bump when you bend it back. So I would not recommend these, okay? They're pretty and lovely to look at, but skipper. Hey, Christy. Oh my gosh, thank you for coming in, Christy. Okay, so for this style, I am going to play with, we're going to experiment a little bit with some color and a little bit of acetone, okay? Acetone is going to, hey Sherry, acetone is going to absorb some of the pigment after you lay it down. So I've put mine, and your granddaughter is absolutely gorgeous, my love. I'm loving seeing the pictures of her. I put mine in this little jar, which is a different shape from my big jar because I made the mistake of thinking this was water one day, and I put it on my art and it just destroyed it, and it was not a pretty sight. So you want to avoid that. Another thing I do like to do is have a water bottle handy so that I can, sorry if I'm talking fast. When I'm nervous, I talk really fast and I blink a lot. Okay, there we go. That's the truth. All right. I'm going to get those a little bit wet so I can experiment a little bit. Okay, so for example, if I want to create this big blossom down here, now this, why you get these lines and things is because I let this dry without messing with it. I added the color, I pulled a little color out, and then I let it dry. So we're not gonna really, I'm just gonna show you the technique and kind of move on after we get some of this color down here for this abstract poppy. Okay, so I might have come up like this. I left a little bit of white space and added some of this really lovely orangey yellow here. And I'm gonna pop a little of that in over here. Pop it in, no pun intended. Shanna, how are you, my love? Okay, and I probably, for this one, pulled a little bit of pigment out with my, with just a paper towel. So I'm gonna do that a little over here, just so you can see. It's really nice to do that if you wanna create a highlight or something somewhere, just to pull the pigment out. But I'm just gonna show you what this acetone does too. It just literally spreads the pigment around, and it's pretty predictable. It doesn't really push the pigment outside of the boundaries necessarily of where your original water and pigment was laid in. So that's kind of nice. It's great for creating texture. I used it a little bit in, let me see if I can find this kind of strange experimentation of this painting here. But you can see here, I did a big stroke and then I just dropped in a little bit of the acetone on that portrait that I was creating last week when I was experimenting with some stuff. Hey, Teresa. Okay, alrighty. So that's one kind of cool little goodie that you can use in addition to salt. Tom McGovern. Tom. Hi, Tom. How are you? It's nice to see you. All right. I love this brush for this shape of poppies, okay? Because of the way that it's a little more narrow here, a little thicker here, and then you have that nice point. It gives you a lot of flexibility for creating roundness in, hi artsy fartsy friends, in whatever it is that you're creating. So, whereas something like, the round brush, a thinner round brush is really nice, but you can't get as much pigment so that you have more play to create more fullness in whatever forms you're creating. So I really like these broader brushes. And working on a small surface like this, it's kind of nice having a slightly smaller broad brush. But okay, so that's one of those. We're kind of working on this style here. So I'm going to pick up a little orange and a little yellow, and I'm going to create this shape up here. When I was creating my samples yesterday, I wasn't being as mindful about composition, and I ended up creating a very really symmetrical composition that I didn't really like, so I had to redo it all over again. That was kind of a pain, but that's okay. You learn with every stroke and every creation, even if it's something you don't like, you're learning in the process, so just enjoy it. Let go and enjoy the process. Frozen out of my system. Oh, darn. Well, can we save this? Yes, Shanna, you can save this. And I'm delighted that you popped in, Sherry and Shanna. Okay, I'm going to add the little, oops. I'm going to get the little black spot in there and see what happens. Yeah, I don't really dig that too much. Okay, I'm going to pull a little pigment out of that. And I'm just going to lay these in real fast from here. You get the idea. I'm playing with pressure and pigment and layering colors. So let me scooch this over a little bit more. Get this in, mix this up. I'm going to create this little guy over here. So I actually should have done it this way, where I want the pigment, where I want more pigment is where the point is in this case, in this way that I'm laying this in. And then as I put pressure, I'm pushing the pigment towards the center. See how you get that really lovely light section here? So I'm not going to necessarily get this beautiful line here around it because the pigment isn't collecting here, but I don't really care because I actually really like that. And I'm just going to be real with y'all. I haven't really been playing with watercolors too much. I've only been, I mean, I've used them in faces more as mixed media pieces, but not necessarily solely, you know, watercolor. So I'm learning a lot with you guys, and this is really cool because this is forcing me to do some research and play with watercolors and experiment with something I never really thought I would necessarily have a super strong interest in doing only, you know, watercolor. So I'm learning a lot as I am working through these things, trying to find techniques and things that you may enjoy and want to incorporate. Okay, so I kind of like the way that one is sitting right now. So I'm going to leave that. And I'm going to do maybe one with, yeah, I'm going to pick up some red and some orange and just see what happens. And I think I'll use the acetone again. See how where I put the point, that's where the focus of the intensity of the colors are. Hi, Jeanette. Thanks so much for, yeah, the pressure is magic. And that's what I really like about this brush is it allows you a lot of wiggle room with the pigment and having it really lay in nicely and flowy. So I scooched my brush around a little bit, and now I can even push the pigment up in here. And maybe what I'll do is after this dries, I'll make this, like I'll overlap this one and make this more of a larger poppy, or maybe it's just bending down. I don't know, I'm just kind of winging it. I'm gonna do one more big one up in here, I think. So I'm gonna get a little more water and do one. I want this one to be, to be more like concentrated towards the base of it. Okay, I might bring that down. I don't really want that there. Okay, that's okay. Dab that out. And dab a little of this out. So you can pull the pigment out. You can push it around a little bit. Hi, Robert. Thanks for joining us. And I'm going to try to get some splatters in there up towards the top up in here by just picking up some pigment. I'm going to practice it over here a little bit. And just, it's kind of a sloppy splatter, but oh well, it is what it is. I like me some splatters and some flicks. There we go. I got in trouble for flicking paint one time in a class I was taking. It was my expressive arts class, and flicking wasn't allowed. So I have a funny thing about flicking and splattering. All right, so here this needs to dry, so we'll come back to this in a little bit, and we're going to focus a little bit more on some pressure exercises to, I started this one just to show you. Splatter and flick. You're a splatter and flick girl yourself. Oh, I love you, Christy. I know we need to splatter and flick together. Oh, we did. Free the flick. That's right. Free the flicking thing. We did flick when we were together, painting together, huh, Christy? And I'm sure I flicked when I was with you too, Teresa. I think we had a conversation about the flicking. So this is a poppy that I was just kind of playing with the layering and the pressure using this brush. So I'm going to do just a quick little demonstration of that as well, kind of going around the page and creating your petals that way. And I'll layer over top of these since I already have these and these need to dry. And then we'll just go into a little bit more specifics, and we'll start working on that little guy there. Okay. So the nice thing, what I was mentioning before about the other book that had the cover on it that can get in your way is, the way that your hand is designed, obviously, it's much easier to create curves based on, the bone structure in your hand and how it moves more naturally and freely in one direction than the other. So I can do a curve this way, and then when I'm trying to do create a curve this way, it is more challenging. So you can strategically place your paper and move it around freely so that you have a more natural curvature to your brush strokes, and that makes it a lot easier. Another thing that is that's been helpful for me when I in creating lines and things, if you were to do an exercise, let's see, I'm going to see if I have my precision. I don't see it, but if you're going to be doing line work and you want really nice, straight, clean lines, it's much easier to draw a line towards you than it is to push it away from your body. Again, it's just naturally because of the way that our bodies move and the way that our bodies are put together, were created. It's much easier to pull it towards your body than it is to push it away. So that's another thing. Sometimes I will flip my paintings upside down so that I have an easier advantage to creating my lines more neatly and linearly, whatever, just easier. So okay, so for this stroke here, for these particular petals, I just got my water pretty transparent. Actually, this isn't going to be enough, so I'm going to get some more water going on here. But I got a really messy palette. My palettes look like so messy by the end of the day, especially when I'm working with acrylics. But I scrape off the paint, and I use it in art, sometimes mixed media pieces and stuff. So, okay, so I loaded up my brush, and let's see, I haven't really, okay, I'm going to point it here. Oops, this little guy's in the way. And I'm going to point it and put pressure down and lift. And that's really super light, so that might be a little too light. I want a little more pigment than that. Down, come around, and I want to extend a little bit beyond the previous petals just to get that really light, translucent effect. I might do this 3 times. Hey Vivian, how are you? I might do 3 layers on this one. So I have that slight orange layer. I'm doing more of a yellowy orange layer. This is a redder kind of pinky layer. And I might afterwards go back in with a more vibrant orange on top of that all. So again, I'm just loading up my brush. Oops, loading up my brush. I'm gonna do more vibrant on this one here so you can see it a little bit more clearly. And pointing it here and putting it down, rotating it around. No, that's not quite enough pigment on that one either. I want it a little bit more. There we go. And then you can even push this around a little bit where you want it. So you do have definitely some control. And the more that you, I'm going to turn this light away for a sec. The more that you play with these techniques and build up your precision with, with just controlling your brush and where it goes, as well as your pressure and playing with, playing with the pressure of that you're applying, so that you're either pulling pigment out or you're applying pressure really lightly, really, really lightly, and play with your brushes. See what your brushes can do, but see how that just pools wherever I point the brush, okay? So I'll do one more of these and then we're gonna move on to the painting that I was originally gonna be working on. Okay, so I've loaded this up with some orange and I'm going to come around. I need more water. Oh, you can't see my palette. Oh well. Come around and lift. Okay, alrighty. So I would let these dry, come back in. This is obviously more of a super subtle translucent effect, but it's one that's fun to play with, and it can certainly come in handy for creating some beautiful succulent blossoms and poppies and things like that. Okay. All right, so let's do this last one. I need one more piece of paper. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and use this thing because it's all I got right now. There we go. Alrighty. Hey Vivian, thank you. Thanks so much for being here, dear. Okay, so this is what we're working on now, and I want some more light. So far we've worked a little bit with acetone, experimented with, play a little bit with it in this piece as well. And I'm gonna get a little bit of a better angle here. Okay. All right. So I would get some colors mixed up on your palette first, and like I have here, I've got a little orange over here. Ideally, this green would not be here because green and red make more of a brownish color, which I didn't mind for this because I wanted some brown, but complementary colors that are opposite on the color wheel, create a little bit muddier colors. So orange and blue, yellow and purple, green and red, when they're mixed together and they're wet, they create earthy tones, browns and grays and things. So on your palette, ideally, it'd be best to kind of stick with yellow, orange, red, and warm colors versus cool colors so that they don't mix and make mud unless you want that. So I'm gonna get some red, some nice red going over here, and some orange so that I can quickly pull up the colors and load them up on my brush. Hey Perry, thank you for coming by. Mom was here. I don't know if my mom's still here or not. She probably took off. She's probably painting or gardening or something. Okay, so I've got some yellow and some red. When I'm working, I often just put out a bunch of different colors at once on my palette and keep a spray bottle handy. I'm talking about when I'm working in acrylic. And then I can pull things up. I can just, whatever color I'm inspired to use. Usually I'm very spontaneously motivated in regards to my color choices, or very more intuitively motivated, I should say, with my color choices. So I like to have access quickly to whatever color I may feel in the moment that I want to pull and incorporate into a painting. Not necessarily with this one I kind of stuck with more traditional colors and things, but okay, so this, I did do a layering process with this one. I started, I got some water on there. I started with some just reds, like colors here that I just mixed up, and then I let the flowers all dry, and then I went back in after I laid in the background and I added a little more vibrant red to these poppies just to get a little bit more contrast in the composition. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start a little light, and I didn't sketch these in or anything. I want some water. I don't want to go too dark. I have a tendency to do that, so I'm trying to refrain from doing that, but I'm still a little light. Okay, getting this guy in here. And I'm going to go ahead and just lay this in for, got a little one here. Again, just be mindful that your poppies, if you like the abstract look, hey Marie, if you like the abstract look, I would try to be mindful of your shapes and varying your shapes and varying your sizes. I'm going to do a little one over here. That might be a little dark. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. And then I'm going to catch this little guy up here in the corner, just a little one there. And I probably should have done that a little higher or lower, whatever. Okay, and one here. Oh, I like that one. That's different. Okay, and I have a lot of red, so I want to get some orange in here now. I really like this. You can use a dropper, but I like just having it in a spray bottle like this. Or a little squirt bottle. It's really handy because I like to, get a lot of water in there sometimes, and it's not as easy with a little dropper. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to get this guy here in, and I'm going to go. Let's see how the pigment is concentrated where the point of my brush is, okay? And which can be tricky, so you might want to, maneuver your page around a little bit to get a better angle on it. Okay, and then I'm going to do that. Okay, I don't really like where that color's going on that one. Bye. Yay. Okay, bye Shanna. Thanks for coming. Okay. You can pull it out. Love that. All right, I'm going to leave that. And then this one's got lots of red here. I'm going to do it. And it's like it's pointing down, so I want to capture that it's coming down. And okay, that one's pointing down. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Some yellow in that one. Okay. Another thing you can do, by Shanna, can add in a little bit of that blackish brown where the poppy, that little black spot in the poppy. I'm going to go ahead and get that in here. I like to do it when it's still a little bit wet because it's spreading, which I like. I like that effect. Okay, I'm going to work on the stems while this is drying because it's going to need to dry. So I'm going to use a skinny brush, a skinny round long brush. Now I got a set of these long handled brushes, but I'm telling you, with trying to navigate the camera and stuff and painting underneath where the phone is, and they're a pain. So I would just get, for this, I would just get smaller ones, but I'm sure that when you're working on a painting, like usually I'm working on larger scale paintings and things, I like the long brushes because it puts some distance between you and your painting. And so you have a little less control if you want more of an abstract effect, or you want more organic looking lines and not as technically controlled lines. It's just a great way to take your brush, put some distance between you and your painting, hold it in your hand like this instead of like this, and you will have, it will enable you to kind of roll your manipulate your lines a little bit by it'll give you looser lines and things. So anyway, okay, that's that. And I'm gonna use just a combination with a little bit of green over here in the corner. Oops, that was a lot of green, to create some stems here. It's too much. I want way browner than that. Okay, so I've got some brown, and I might actually kind of take my own advice and try to get a little more abstract lines going here. Oops, I don't like that. So this one comes up and down. I want a little, that to be a little browner, more abstract. I'm definitely not digging these stems, especially down here, but whatever. Not gonna stress. Hi, Dennis. Hi, Suzanne. Okay. All right, so this is all drying. So I want to throw in some of these different colors into the background. So I am going to mix up some greens. I can use this one here. I want a light, I use this really lovely lemony yellow. And I'm going to start with that. I'm going to come up in here. Hey, Dennis. So again, I'm going light to dark, and I want to get some, just going to create some, so for these, like this abstract leaf here in this shape, load up your brush and just, this is a great brush for that. Up and back, coming down in there, and I'm going to get some going up here. I'm going to do this very quickly. I tend to work quickly when I'm doing abstract. Just press it down, kind of see what happens. Put pressure down, attack the page, kind of. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I want to get some stuff going on in there. Okay. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Switch this over here. Okay. All right, this is still drying, but that's okay. I'm going to add some blues now. So I've got my light yellowy green, and now I want some blues in there. So I love this blue here. Oh, that's really, really, really blue. That's too dark. I'm gonna come bring it down in here. Oh, hey Dennis, thanks for coming. I love hearing yours and seeing your Santa beard. Oh, I lost the sound. Oh, that's weird. Mom, maybe it just went away for a minute. Okay, so I want to just lay in some of these subtle blues around here, and I'm going to start, ideally, I would want this to be completely dry. So I'm going to do my best to do this. I'm going to do my best to do this without coming into contact with these blossoms, because I don't want, you know, I don't want to, see, that's what's going to happen if I do. It's going to be grayish, yuck. So I'm going to avoid that and just lay in where I can. I spent a lot of time blow drying yesterday to get, actually used this blue, I think, in mine, but just so that I could, you know, layer the colors and not contaminate the previous layers and things. But I don't want to go take a break and go blow dry right now, so I'm not gonna. Just gonna lay in some of these colors and have a few darker blues in a few sections. So I'm loading up the brush and just very kind of randomly spreading out this blue in the background. I'm not filling in a whole color with it. If I did do that accidentally, I would probably take my napkin or some acetone or something and pull some of that pigment out, because I like the mottled effect of having, you know, some greens and some blues and some yellows all throughout the background instead of one color. But if you want, you know, one specific color, by all means. And I think I'm even going to pull a little bit of blue in to these little poppies. And see how that goes. I really can't wait to see some of your poppy paintings. It's fun to just, you know, try different petal effects and different compositions and different intensities of oranges and yellows together and things, and just kind of see what you end up with. Oops, I don't want that there. Bye-bye. I might have to leave and blow this dry a little bit just to get it finished. I mean, just so that I layered over a lot of the poppies, the edges of them, a little bit with light blue, and where I had some white. You can't really see it here, but just so that it gave the effect of seeing a little bit of the blue through the flowers. So I don't care if it's abstract through here. I like this effect of just pushing the paint and see how you get some texture just by pushing the brush around in different directions, and it picks up some of the pigment but not all of it. So you just want to make sure that your brush isn't fully loaded up with pigment when you do that. But I kind of like that. I didn't even know I hadn't done that before, but I like it. This is different than the one I did yesterday, that's for sure. Okay. All right, so now I think what I will do is just do a little more. I want a little bit more blue. My palette's getting messy, so I'm going to mix it up on the table and fill in with a larger brush all around this area here. Oh, and you know what I did use? That's probably something too. I used, thanks for hanging with me, guys. This is a little long. I used this gorgeous teal from this set that I showed you last week, which is made by Kuretake. Oops. And it comes in a box like this. Okay. Yeah, sometimes mud is beautiful, Sherry. I agree. So I intentionally made some mud to do my stems yesterday. But I've certainly made mud many times unintentionally. But it is beautiful, and it's a really nice balance to a lot of these super vibrant colors that I often am drawn to. So I'm working on embracing the mud more for sure. Okay, I'm gonna pull a little of this teal into this blue that I've created to get some of these, you know, more tealy little accents and things around. This isn't gonna be as filled in as the original because of the fact that I can't dry it, and I don't wanna go dry it right now. So I'm gonna pick this up and pick up some teal, fill in some of the white spaces, and then we're gonna go and add a little bit of pop, a little bit of red to some of the poppies that are already there, just to provide contrast and give the illusion of light and shadow a little bit more, and then we're done. Hi, Marie. Okay, so I'm gonna get some of these. And even with this, I am applying, oh, see, this paper is weird. It picked up very differently. It's creating some interesting texture. Let's see, that one might be done. I want to add a little of this yellow. Now I'm just kind of playing, winging it and playing. Okay. All right. I might add a little bit of that acetone, to the background just to see what it does with that very, very light background that we've got going. See if it gives me any interesting texture. There wasn't much there, so it's not really doing too much, but okay, that's cool. All right, so the last thing that I want to do, and I think these are dry enough. I'm going to make sure. Oop. It's a good thing you can't see what's going on behind the scenes. Because my table is a mess and the floor is a mess. I'm throwing things around. Things are falling. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to dab any excess paint off of these poppies so that I can go in with just a touch of red and create a little bit more contrast. And yeah, I want my brush to be fairly dry. Christy, did you see my goatee at the beginning of this? Okay, this might be, let's see. I think this is a little bit big. I need a smaller brush. So I'm gonna use this one. This is probably a good size because I like how it's, the strokes are small enough to create I'll share it to you later, to create the illusion of like petals coming forward and these being in the background. Same here, or it's not going to take up the space of the entire poppy. I just want I want to be able to go in and kind of highlight a few, quote, petals, okay? So I'm getting a fair amount of pigment. Hopefully this'll work here. Okay, so I'm going to add, to this one here, right up here. And I like how it picks up some, but not all, when you just almost make your brush parallel with the paper and scooch it across. Lay it down, scooch it across. I like the texture of that. I'm happy with that. And I might do a little right here too, because that's kind of an uggo spot. I want to hide the uggo spot. And that's too orange, so I'm gonna add a little, it's too red. I try to vary the colors a little bit to create contrast and make it a little more dynamic. Okay, I'm gonna add a pop of yellowy orange into that because I'm not digging that. All right, I just totally changed directions there, but that's okay. All right, I'm gonna leave that one. Not loving that, it's okay. All right, and then I'm gonna get some red here because there's already a lot of red there, I'm going to add a little bit of this darker red to that so that I can really highlight that section there a little bit better. So it gives the illusion of it being round and this being the underside of this poppy. And I'm going to do the same over here with some of this more red, not with the brown red, because this one is quite light. And then what I'll do, I want this to look as if it's coming from behind and kind of leaning forward. So I added water to the back side, and I want that a little more abstract, so that it spread a little bit towards the back, so there was a kind of a transition from the back of that petal towards the front. And I'm gonna too much. You need to wrap it up. Hi, Chris. How are you? My nephew. Hi. Give the family, Claudia and the kiddos, our love. Okay, I'm gonna add a little more red to that because I'm not digging that. A little more red, abstracty. Okay, that's fine. I can deal with that one. Okay, I want a little red in the center of this poppy here. Actually, I'm gonna do red on the outside of it, an orangey red, I think. Just kind of go like that. Okay, that's fine. I like how it picks up some and leaves some white space underneath. Parallel brush strokes. Okay, this one, I'm gonna make it, I think this one looks like it's going that direction to me, but I'll see if I can make it, if I can turn it, make it look like it's facing us like this one. This looks like the opening to me. It looks like it's facing me, whereas this one looks like it's turning away. So I'm just gonna see if I can do this. I might not be able to. Oh, there it is. Okay, and then there. I'll leave that. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And then there's one here that I haven't done diddly with. Guess I better do something with that. Hi, Selma. How are you? Thanks for popping in. Okay. And come around there. Okay, there we go. And now I would go in, when these are dry, I will go in and I will bring out the stems a little bit more with a little bit of dark and very fine, kind of more delicate lines to contrast these bolder kind of blossoms. But and then I might add a little bit more blue. But really, that's basically it. Other than bringing out, I mean, I might push and pull a little bit, bring out a little bit more of these, the centers here, get a little bit more contrast going. I'm adding a tiny bit of blue to these, to the centers, and that might be a little too much, so I might have to go in and pull a little bit of that out. That's okay. Yeah, I didn't like the way that the stems were falling anyway. They were wasn't loving them, so I'm just gonna redo them a little bit while I'm waiting here for these. Come through here. Yeah, that's better. Gus. Oh my gosh, Gus, how are you? Thank you for coming by. We're almost done. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of orangey on this one here. Pull that out a little. And a little more orange here. Oops. Okay, all right. So yeah, I would just go in and continue to play with these lines a little bit, make them a little bit darker, maybe add a few more green leaves. And basically, I would call these poppies complete. So thank you so much, everybody, for sticking with me. And I encourage you to experiment with different techniques, experiment with different chemicals. Like I said, you can use the acetone. I used that a little bit earlier. You can use plain old table salt. You can also use things like, I showed you last week, I think, the turmeric and I think this is paprika. And you can play with those a little bit. Some of them you may get a kind of a cool grainy effect. And you might like that for whatever it is that you're creating. Another thing that you can use is alcohol. Table salt and alcohol too, and just play with chlorine too. I haven't experimented with that, but it's just fun to experiment with different techniques and get to know your tools, get to know the pressure of how much pressure you need to allow the color to come off in the intensity that you want for whatever it is that you're creating, and just play with lines to just get comfortable and confident with watercolors, because they are really fun. So thank you. I'm going to pop this out and flip it real quick. Thank you so much. Like, I look like Kara Bullock right now, but I think my bun might even be bigger than hers. I think my butt is too, but definitely the bun is. But thank you so much for being with me today. It was fun, and I was super, super nervous at first, but once I kind of get rolling, you guys all make me feel so comfortable. So I really appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. And please continue to do these on Wednesdays. I will. I might not stick to watercolor. I might, because you know me, I'm ADD and I like to do so many different things, from sculpture to, I even like weaving and collage and all kinds of things. So I think what I might do is just have it be, whatever Wednesdays. And whatever I'm inspired to create, or whatever I have been inspired to create throughout that week leading up to next Wednesday, I will share. I would like to share whatever kinds of findings or little discoveries or experiments, techniques and things that I have enjoyed playing with throughout the previous week. So whatever Wednesdays, I don't know what it's going to be next Wednesday. I'll let you know a couple of days in advance. It might be a little sculpture. It might be, there was something else I was wanting to do recently that seemed really fun and different. I even have a bunch of really cool mosaic things. And anyway, so we'll see. It might be watercolor. I'm going to put a little thought into it and figure it out. But again, thank you for being here. Mwah. Stay safe, stay sane, and stay creating. Okay? Ciao for now, y'all. Bye. Arriba. Oh, I should do one more of those. Those were fun. Let me see. Where is that little... Oh, I don't know where it is. Okay. Mwah. Bye.